Ah, new blood. Just got this home this past weekend. Which is actually this weekend right now. I brought it home on Friday. But either way, on the surface, it looks like another one of these Compaq Presarios with one of these cases, which is in better shape than the one that I have already. You see it's got an HP optical drive in it, if the camera would focus on it. DVD 740. It's actually a DVD burner, and a dual layer burner at that. Of course, there's nothing in this expansion slot here. Card reader, which I do not think is original to this case, given it's silver, but maybe it is. I mean, it would certainly match the outer faceplate color. Empty bay, so there's no floppy drive in this one. And of course, we have our front panel audio, which I removed on the one that I had. Otherwise, I think the one that I had did not have the FireWire or the front panel USB. I can't remember though. I have to go out and look at it. SR1750NX, so it was not a Walmart special. There's a sticker on the back, which, assuming the camera will focus on it, you can go ahead and read. I'm looking forward to the time when I can bring my camcorders back in here, assuming they'll still work, because this thing is trash, to say the least. Okay, power supply. And that does not look like a Compaq motherboard. What's going on in here? Of course, you got these two wires. What's this? Well, let's go ahead and pop the cover and I'll show you what's going on. I actually don't remember the specs, particularly the CPU. We have an upgraded motherboard going on in here, at least a semi-upgraded motherboard. The motherboard has some problems. It's an Asus board, so I don't know why we were expecting it not to have problems. But the issue that this particular board has is that one of the memory slots, in fact, it's the first memory slot down there, which you can not see. Hang on a second. Okay. There you can see there's one unoccupied memory slot. I have two 1 GB and one 2 GB stick installed in there for 4 gigs total, but the primary slot is dead. I think there's broken solder joints in it because no amount of contact cleaning could manage to get it back into fighting trim. Now another one of these 380 watt, 80 plus certified Antec Earthwatts power supplies. I'm not a big fan of these because they use crappy capacitors, but well, it's available. I'd rather not replace it if I don't have to. We got a lovely little case fan, and of course a wireless card is installed right there. This is going to be getting some further upgrades. In particular, it is going to be, it's going to be getting a PCI capture card and a big video card, because I want to use this as a temporary stream encoder for the low-end radio studio, and when it's done doing that, it's going to stay there. It's probably going to, I haven't decided yet if it's going to do audio only or slideshow duty, but if that's the case, I'm probably going to uninstall that 2 GB memory module so I can put this thing back into dual channel mode, just because, well, I'm picky like that. This hard drive is also not likely to stay in here either. I have some SSDs on order, but they didn't get here yet, even though they were supposed to. So I just have one of these 1 terabyte Western Digital RE4 drives temporarily. So I'm going to go ahead and get the cards installed in here. There's the motherboard model, M4A7B5-M. It's a Phenom 2, if I remember right. So, socket 9, what does that say? Socket 940? So, there you go. Okay, after a humongous nightmare, I've managed to get all the cards installed. PCI Express power is going to the video card. So I'll probably find out that something doesn't work. That's how this usually ends up going. But I'm going to put the side panel back on, clean up some of this junk, get a monitor. I have a keyboard sitting down there, and get a mouse, and we will see if we can check out the specs, see what this actually is. I think it's a dual-core Phenom 2, if I remember correctly, that's what it is anyway. And we can hopefully, even tonight, we can get Windows installed. So because I'm genuinely curious, I've gone ahead and plugged it into this UPS, which should tell me what kind of a load figure it's got. These Antec power supplies tend to not like being run close to their rating, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. So I kick the power on, still no load. Power is on, 73 watts, 65 watts. Will it post? Yes, it will. Here we go. Alright. Delete to run setup. There we go. So, there's our setup utility. We are pulling 125 watts. Okay, so that's not too bad. We'll see what happens once we put it under load. So, the date and time is correct. Actually, it's not. It's 8:10 right now, so that would be 2010. Oops. That should be more like it. This BIOS is kind of slow to respond. The date is correct, though. So that should be good. There's our SATA hard drive, SATA configuration. Let's make sure that it's AHCI, and it is. Yeah, AHCI. Here we go. Yep, Phenom 2X2. Called that one, didn't I? Have to see if there's an updated BIOS. We have 2 gigs of RAM. So this is probably going to get 32-bit Windows. I'm sure you could probably put 6 gigs in this if you wanted to. But I think ultimately I may even drop it down to 1 gig. Or leave it at 2. I actually thought it had 4 gigs installed in it, but as it turns out it doesn't. Either that or one of my modules is screwed up. That's probably exactly what's going on here. They're not what I thought they were. I might check that here in a second. Just make sure that everything is seated the way that it should be. We could do some overclocking on this if we wanted to, but I'm not going to. Everything there should be fine. Chipset configuration, memory configuration, bank interleaving, everything should be auto on that. Hopefully. Let's just leave that alone. ECC should be off. This memory does not support it. Graphics. That's how we can configure what's going on. GFX 0, I don't know what that means. GFX 0 and GPP, I think one or both of those refer to the PCI Express. IGFX is the internal, and then of course you got PCI. I'm going to set it that way, leave it alone. Does this actually have HDMI on it? I saw an entry in the BIOS there for HDMI. I think it does. I think that's an HDMI port. Yep, that's HDMI. I'll be an Unkey's Muckle. This thing might actually be powerful enough to support DirectX 10 on its own, but I figure I'll have the video card just in case. So, alright. So, I think everything here is good to go. Look at the hardware monitor. All the specs look alright. Q-fan function. Should have that turned on. Auto mode start voltage should be okay. I might leave that off. So, we can figure that out later. Of course, power management. I usually set this to last state. Saves me from having to turn machines on after the power goes out. Although given it's on a UPS, it may not matter. Or it will be on a UPS. Probably shouldn't matter. Boot device priority. The CD-ROM should be before all that. Okay. See if this optical drive works. Which I hope it does, because all of my optical drives are outside. So this is as you can tell, a little bit of a departure. Usually I would put Windows 7 on something like this. I'm going to install Windows 8. This is not Windows 10. I refuse to install Windows 10 on my systems. At least not until they fix it, because it's hilariously broken. So, and the telemetry doesn't really help its matter either. I hope this optical drive works. Because I really would have thought this system would be a lot faster installing from CD than that. And yes, I am installing from the DVD. Even though I could easily just make a USB stick. What's the point? Okay, I'm sure you've all seen this before. Wow, the mouse actually works. I forgot that I had this mouse. And I'm really kind of shocked, given how cheap and crappy it is, that it actually does still work. Given how much I've forgotten it. But that's alright. Works for me. So let's see. Let's hope it will not ask me for my product key. I know Windows Vista used to do that during the first phase of setup. It looks like Windows 8 does too, so give me a minute. Okay, I assure you I read that very carefully. Next. This is, of course, a custom install. I'm going to close that out. I don't know what was on this drive. I really don't care, because these are supposed to be erased. I'm really kind of surprised this one wasn't. I thought I erased them all. And now we begin the waiting game. I always thought it was hilarious how it skips straight from copying to getting files ready all the time. But this getting files ready thing seems to be doing the copying. Seems kind of strange. But, whatever the case may be. Alright, first reboot. I love how there's a bunch of crap in the upper corner of this monitor. Asus Core Unlocker. It's going to try and boot from the CD. So we'll skip that. So I want to boot to the hard drive. And then I'm going to have to begin the fun process of installing all the updates, because that is Windows 8.0. So I'm going to install Windows 8.1. I hope the wireless works, because I have no idea what card that is. But I won't be surprised if it doesn't. Okay, personalize. Let's personalize this. I happen to like this, even though it's boring, dull gray. So maybe we'll make it orange. The other one I made green, that one over there. Or we could go for the red. I like bright colors, so we'll go for that. We'll give this a name. Very descriptive name. Wireless. Oh look, it actually works out of the box. But it doesn't support the 5 GHz band. That sucks. So I'll enter my Wi-Fi password and we'll see how this works. Have a listen. One of the cards in there, unless it's the optical drive, one of the fans is going nuts. That's interesting. Okay, wow, what a mess. So, the wireless card was behaving erratically, obviously, as you saw there. Very poor reception, very slow speeds. I thought there was something wrong with the card. So I pulled the card out. I grabbed this thing. I had to change the slot bracket around because it had a small form factor bracket on it, which is right here. This card doesn't even work at all. And I'm not sure what the issue is. This is actually a combination Bluetooth and Wi-Fi adapter. But it's by Atheros, so this thing is going straight into the garbage where it belongs. I'm sure I'm going to get caned by the audience for daring to say that on video. But, oh well, you only live once, and it's been my experience that Atheros wireless cards are junk. So, anyway, of course this one's probably not much better being from the light on. That said, it's a temporary solution. I will be keeping this, just because this is probably useful. I guess we'll find out. But I gotta take this bracket off, put that bracket on there. I have gone ahead and disabled the fast startup. Useless junk. So when we shut the machine off, it should actually shut off. I may turn it back on, but I find that on non-UEFI systems, that tends to screw up the BIOS. So, well, whatever. I'm going to put the bracket back on that card, put the slot thing back in, and we can continue on with our setup. Okay, let's watch the boot up process, start to finish. I think I called it an M4A7B5-M. It's actually a 785-M. Oh well, Asus's font doesn't look very good, so hard to read. "45 seconds on the nose. Not bad. Oh, look at this. Gotta love it. Try again. It's probably not even gonna work. I would not be surprised. Let's go back to the desktop. What did I want to do? And the time is wrong. That's probably why it's not working. I am in Eastern Time. There. Okay. Go back over to the store. Here we go. It is downloading. That is going to take forever. That's like almost a 3 gigabyte download. So, we'll see. Okay, setting up Windows 8.1, which only took entirely way too long to install. Oh, better late than never, I suppose. So, I'm running out of time for tonight, and I'm running out of time for this weekend. It's the holiday tomorrow, but that's it. I've still got a lot of stuff to do, a lot of things to bring in, a lot of things to clean. Still got those machines down there that need to be dealt with. It's going to take a while. In fact, I may actually clone this right here and put it onto the other machine. Well, that might not actually work. Getting ready. What's it getting ready to do? Launch itself to the moon? That'd be about my luck. The fan ramped itself back up again, so I don't know. Hopefully it's not overheating. So this is probably a first. I am both of doing a broadcast and a video at the same time. So that's why these lights are set up like that. So please forgive me. But I wanted to update on this. This will probably be the last part of the video that I make because it's done installing all of its updates. I did have to change the capture card. Unfortunately, this one does not seem to work under Windows 8.1. Always an issue with these cards, I'm telling you what. The problem with these, the big problem, is that they are I almost said FFmpeg. No, that's not quite true. They output MPEG video. MPEG 2, I believe, yes. That's an MPEG 2 AV encoder, right there by Conexant. So, yeah, the issue is that they're MPEG. So there are a lot of programs that don't actually like that. And apparently, well, I know that FMLE is one of them, and apparently OBS is another. Well, I can't really test that because this is running Windows 8.1 in that card. I couldn't bring up the video crossbar, so I had no idea if this card was even working at all. It's too bad. This has all kinds of different inputs, you know, S-Video, Composite, and TV. Would have been nice if I could get that working, but we're using the, what did they call that? Easy TV Crapture. That card, which is based on a Philips SAA7130 chipset, I think. Yes. SAA7130 TV card. The audio input doesn't even work on that. Just the video, which is fine. I don't use the audio input on those kinds of things anyway, so. There you go. I think that's pretty much going to do it for the video, so thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off, testing it with a convenient DVD player here. This is a Sony unit that I got for free out of the trash at work. This is CP666 signing off, and I hope to see you next time. Till then.